I'm 43 now, so I was born in 1982, and I had the privilege of experiencing life in 1980s and 1990s Britain, which, when I look back, really was peak Western civilization. So I feel blessed to have experienced that time, and I'm shocked at the precipitous and rapid deterioration of public life in this country, at the rapid diminishing of standards, and at how the social fabric has been ripped apart. We've gone from a high trust society to an exceptionally low trust, paranoid society, one in which you can feel the fear and you can see the division, and one in which it is characterised by huge suffering. And you know, even 20, 25 years ago, what happened yesterday in Manchester would have been unthinkable. Absolutely unthinkable. And that's why I wanted to do a video today, just with I don't know, quite a simple message really. What happened yesterday was awful, and is, as far as I'm concerned, the result of failed experiments. I say a failed experiment, an experiment that has succeeded. Experiment coalescing around the idea of multiculturalism, open borders, and globalization. And central to that idea is that, you know, all cultures are equal and that all peoples can live side by side in peace. Now, I made a mistake a minute ago when I said a failed experiment. Of course, it's not a failed experiment. This was all meant to, this has all been planned to happen. And I think the UK is a testbed for much of what is being rolled out across the Western world, particularly a testbed when it comes to two things: multiculturalism and censorship and control. Why is the UK a testbed, if it indeed is? I have my own ideas on that, but essentially I think if you can smash apart the UK and get it under the yoke of tyranny, I think you can do it anywhere else, and I do. And I am pleased to see a continuing fierce resistance in some circles against all of this in this country, particularly in England, But my question is, I guess the theme of this video really is one, it's about stupidity and stupid ideas and stupid people. And I'm very interested, as you know, in the cultivation of ideas, how ideas are seeded and how ideas are spread, how they take hold. And we have some very powerful ideologies that have become entrenched in individuals, in organisations, in systems, in the nation, in the society, in people's mindsets and in their collective psyche. And one of those stupid ideas is that of multiculturalism. Now, I shouldn't need to caveat what I'm about to say with the words, I'm not racist. I actually believe that immigration, certainly to this country, I'm a supporter of immigration. I am. Controlled, sensible immigration. I am dead against the idea of open borders, and that you can incorporate and integrate anybody into your society regardless of background, and in whatever numbers you deem to be sufficient, which, as far as I can see it, is absolutely numbers that are completely unlimited. Because the population explosion in my country, together with the demographic change, is absolutely frightening. So multiculturalism, the idea that we can live in a utopian world with open borders, in a globally harmonised, ultra interconnected world where people come and people go, and we can all live happily side by side. It's a very disingenuous and dishonest idea, really, and it doesn't stand up to scrutiny. If you think about how if you think about human nature and you think about human societies, we're not wired, unfortunately, we're not wired to coexist peacefully. There's been very few societies in all of recorded history where peace has been the order of the day, peace and harmony. We were so lucky. Anyone born post-Second World War up to, I don't know, 2010, something like that. The luckiest generation that's ever been born. I was part of that, the latter end. But if you just study, human nature, the human societies that have gone before, in all eras, in all areas of the globe, and then when you add in, a little kind of understanding of human nature itself, the idea that human societies aren't primarily defined by discord, division, war and suffering is quite deluded, really, and lacking in perspective, because unfortunately most societies tend towards that rather than what we had kind of post-Second World War, UK and other countries as well. And we ruined it. We had something good and we ruined it. It was on our watch. It's been ruined. And once you add lawlessness, incorporate enough lawlessness into a country, how do you go back? You can recover from wars, you can recover from economic, financial collapse. You can even recover from genocide. Once lawlessness becomes entrenched, though, anarchy starts to spread. And when you ally that with a complete tearing apart of any social fabric that there was, and you create fear and paranoia, how do you go back? How do you recover? I don't know. But this is where we are. So my question, and I very much doubt that anybody who buys into these ideas will watch this video, which is all the more frustrating. But I'm going to say it anyway. Stupid is as stupid does. There's a lot of stupid people out there who have made careers on the back of these insidious narratives, And there are a lot of people who, for want of a yearning for meaning in their own life, or due to an absence of the ability to be able to think their own thoughts, to develop their own unique perspective, a lack of responsibility in being a stakeholder in their own society, as a responsible adult taking part in society, recognizing that you're part of the problem, you can also be part of the solution and working towards it. There's millions and millions and millions of people who've negated that responsibility, as far as I'm concerned, and who have blithely supported these absolutely destructive and deranged ideas and ideologies that have infected this country and the Western world. And sadly, where that culminates is in terrorism, is in murder on our streets. We have imported a religious war into this country. We have imported sectarian politics into this, what was once imperfect but amazing place to live. And it's happened so quickly. On the days where I feel that things are bleak and I struggle to see how we can heal, and I really can't see a way forward, I at least know that I try to examine my beliefs. I try to critically evaluate my life and what I can see, what I choose to be part of and what I choose to not be part of. I make mistakes, but I learn. And I know that you watching this probably do the same. Just to finish on, I'm not going to give any opinion on the war that's taking place, on any wars that are taking place in the Middle East or around the world, but just to quickly talk about Israel and Palestine, is all I'll say is for a situation that is so deeply complex, that is steeped in millennia, that is millennia of history, that has deep biblical undertones to it. Be very, very, very careful about who you blithely support. Because I see on both sides, I see absolute extreme zealotry. I really, really do. And this follows on from the video that I did yesterday. We have to be very, very careful. There is something dark around the narrative about what's going on in Israel and Palestine. It is a huge energy harvesting exercise. It garners so much attention. But if I try to step back, and think, what effect is it having on our societies and our countries, these ideas, these stories that were told around certain religions, around certain peoples, around who's responsible for what in the world. Be very, very careful, very circumspect, is all I would say. But to those who have bought into this idea that if you are not completely on board with the regime oriented message around multiculturalism and open borders and globalization, that if it's some way that you aren't, you are a racist, you're xenophobic. I mean, what do you have to say for yourselves? Seriously? Where's the intellectual honesty? Where's just the honesty? Where? Because look at the hell on earth that we're creating in our countries. You know? This is why I'm very, very passionate about ideas, about belief systems, about choosing very carefully who we choose to listen to, which ideas we decide to cling on to. And as I said in the last video we did, or the last one, I can't remember, all I know that's real, really, really real, is this right now. So, absolutely horrendous what happened yesterday. Sadly, not a surprise. The amount of times I've said this phrase in the last few years, I'm shocked but not surprised. So I'm going to leave it there. Please let me know in the comments what you think about this. And I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.